Are you in such a rush to get to a certain point that you forget to celebrate your wins? Are you neglecting to enjoy the journey because you're in such a rush to get to the destination? Are you hard on yourself because you think you should be further along than you are now? This is the thing. We think we're going to be fucking happy when we get to the end, but we can't be happy at the end if we don't enjoy the process. And we have to trust the process, but we have to celebrate how far we've actually come. We think that we're slowed down. We think that we're delayed. We think that we're not as far as we should be. But you're exactly where you're supposed to be for your individual journey. And neglecting to measure your wins can actually delay your progress. It's time to celebrate you and celebrate how far you've actually come. My name is Angela Cleary. I'm a feminine empowerment coach. I specialise in healing after narcissistic abuse, and I also offer twin flame and spiritual guidance. This is the thing. We're all about the fucking end. Oh, why are we in such a rush? Oh my God. You know what I mean? We need to get into this flow state. I was saying this morning, I was doing it in another video. Art comes from the heart. Art needs to flow. But effectively, our life purpose, our goals, they're all a part of the heart, a part of art, and it needs to flow. If we fucking rush everything, it's not going to be as beautiful as it should be. If we don't enjoy the journey, how the fuck are we going to enjoy the destination? And oftentimes, if we rush to the end goal, we get everything we want and we're not happy because we're not enjoying the ride. We're not enjoying the process. We're not celebrating every little thing we do. And this is why measuring is so important. And I was neglecting to do this for a long time myself. I was pushing forward. I was like, I'm delayed. I need to have this done. I wasn't ready. You know what I mean? We're telling ourselves we need to be over here, but we need to take the steps to get over here. Because if we got over here too quickly, we wouldn't be ready for over here. And we'd end up going fucking backwards or giving up completely. This is the thing. You know what I mean? We have to start looking back on how much work we've already done. Take a minute here. You know what I mean? Stop thinking about the end goal. We're going to achieve what we want to achieve, but we can't fly up the fucking mountain. We have to take steps one at a time, or we're going to overwhelm and we're going to end up we'll give up. If we go too fast, we end up giving up. We end up being hard on ourselves. And this is it. Why are we so judgmental towards ourselves? Why are we comparing our journeys to everyone else's? Your journey is specific to you. It's on your timeline. You know what I mean? We all have decisions to make. We all have lessons to learn. We might say, oh my God, I'm delayed, or I was detoured. But a detour is a lesson. A delay is a redirection. It's all redirection. But it's all for a lesson. If we didn't have these lessons along the way, we're not going to learn anything. And I said this the other day, if you want to make something perfectly beautiful, I know nothing's perfect. Art is never going to be perfect. Art is from the heart. It's messy, it's beautiful, but it's real. And if you want something to be real, beautiful, and imperfectly perfect, you can't rush it. You just can't. You know what I mean? You can't force something. I said this before, you can't force yourself head first through a brick wall. You have to take that step back. Being is doing. You need that moment to prepare. And I keep getting the message, slow down, speed up, slow down, speed up. In other words, the time that we're going through, it's so fluid, it's kind of slow motion, but everything is sped up. Everything is going really fucking fast, but we might think, oh my God, it's going really slow, but it's not. But we're also being, I'm being given the message lately as well of being flexible. You know what I mean? As in, don't be, if something doesn't work out, it's redirection. If something is delayed or rescheduled, it's to give you time. And, this is the thing. The last few mornings, I've had appointments rescheduled and I've had really slow mornings. And when I'm having a slow morning, I get really angry at myself. I'm like, Jesus, I have to do this. And, when you're rushing around the place, what do? You end up fucking hitting your head off stuff or, just wrecking the place or hurting yourself or, delaying yourself. If you're rushing around, you actually delay yourself. And I'm getting the message of flow. Absolute flow. Why are we in such a rush to get to the end? Take it slow. Just take it slow. Enjoy every little bit of it. You know what I'm saying? And that comes with everything in our lives. And like, you know, this video and the video I did on Monday is so similar. It's just about flowing. And it's like, I had to have the slow morning to get the content for the video. Like, I had an idea of what I was going to put out, but if I hadn't have slowed down, I wouldn't have fully understood what I needed to speak about. And that's the thing. We actually create better, or we create more magic, more explosion if we take our time. And that's it. We instead of having a spark, we have fireworks. You know, why would you rush something when if we delay it, it can actually be better? And this is, we're creatures of instant gratification. This is like, you know, with drugs and drink and everything. It's like, oh, we'll do this now and it's going to be great. And then, you know, it gets anticlimactic in that way, because it's over and it's like, oh, that wasn't as good as we thought it was going to be. Whereas if you enjoy the process, enjoy every little step, you're getting enjoyment the whole way. And then the end is worth the wait. And that's the beauty of it. Like, you know, we don't appreciate stuff. We take things for granted. When that's actually another one that was actually a loud message yesterday. Taking things for granted. You can't appreciate people. You can't appreciate moments if you're in such a rush to the end goal. You just can't. Like, how are you supposed to? Like, you're literally fast forwarding your life and you're skipping all the good parts. You know, there's beauty in everything. Like the simple thing of stopping to smell the roses. That's metaphorical, but it's also true. That moment, like to even cuddle your fur babies. That moment to look at the sunrise, the sunset. That moment to just be. And this morning, like, you know, as well, I took another few minutes after my meditation. Normally I rush after my meditation. My cat gets really affectionate during my meditation. She's got these she's got abandonment issues, and she when she comes across anything fluffy, so my dressing gown, she starts going like this and she starts suckling off it. It's so cute. But she gives me that kind of attention when I'm doing meditation. And this morning after my meditation, I put on music when I'm getting ready. And I put on the music and I decided I'm just going to sit here for a minute now. And I listened to my 2 favourite songs of the moment. And I'm just going to listen to them and I'm going to stay in this moment. And she was doing her thing, the little cat or whatever. And then she proper cuddled into me. She stopped doing the suckling thing. And she cuddled into me real tight. And I was just like, oh my God. You know, and this is when I was remembering about measuring. Like, I got her back in September. And it was so hard because she had abandonment issues. And she was really nervous and she was really shy. And, you know, this just really hurt me. I had abandonment issues as well. So, like, I was kind of projecting my issues onto her. And, like, you know, it took us a while to blend in together. And I just felt like, you know, it took, like, I was looking at her this morning and how close we were. And I was like, it took us a while to get here. But we got here, like, and that's because we took our time. You know, me trying to rush her affection at the start made her run a little bit further. And that's it. It needed time. And that's it with love or with our career or with any part of our life. It takes time. It needs patience. But just to think about measuring, I'm very good at dates, so I remember an awful lot of dates. But, like, you know, oftentimes it's significant dates like our birthday or Christmas or something, you know, major that we'll be able to remember. You know, we'll be on that day and we'll look back at the year before, like New Year's as well. And I did this on my birthday as well. I looked back and, you know, just think about it for a minute. You know, you're so hard on yourself thinking that you should be 10 steps ahead. You're so hard on yourself saying, you know, I haven't got this done. I need to do this. You know, and you keep saying I'm failing. You're judging yourself and you're like, I should have gotten this done. Without actually saying to yourself, hey, look at how much I've already fucking done. So just take a minute. Just take 1 minute right now and close your eyes. And remember how you felt this time last year. Even a week ago, actually. Because I'm different every day. We're transforming every week. But think about how you felt this time last year. Were you in a good place? The answer is probably no. But are you in a better place now? Even just slightly better? And the answer to that is probably yes. And that is an achievement. That's transformation. That's growth. That's evolution. So instead of being hard on yourself of where you may not be, think of how much you've overcome in 1 year. Think of how much you've overcome in 5 years. Where were you 10 years ago? You know what I mean? 10 years ago, oh my God. Like, it's 2014, 2015 were the 2 worst years of my life. You know what I mean? And to have come from there, from that kind of trauma into where I am now, that deserves a fucking medal. And you deserve a medal. Because where were you 10 years ago? 5 years ago? And even just 1 year ago? Every time you have overcome a battle, every time you've overcome a hard day, you've overcome abuse and trauma. Look at where you are now. Forget about the future for a second. Look at where you are now. That's fucking magical. That's massive. It's fucking huge. And you have to give yourself credit for that. You really do. Take the time to celebrate those little wins and even write it out. Because when I first started when I was starting to grow, I suppose, properly, I wasn't measuring my wins. And I was pushing forward. I was pushing through that brick wall and I was hurting my fucking head. And I wrote it out because I was like, I should be a certain place. Because I was putting timelines on things at the very start. And I was like, I want this done by then. I want this done by then. I want this done by then. And it wasn't happening on those times. But it happened later. And I looked back and I realised, I wasn't ready for it when I said I wanted it. But then I just wrote down everything and the little progresses I've made. How much progress I made in 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months. You know what I mean? Like when I was in a really bad spot and I first discovered Tony and Dean and first discovered I wanted to do coaching, I cried the whole way through it. Really broke my heart. And when I did that live event with Matthew McConaughey before that, I cried the whole way through it. I had no direction. And 6 months after, I watched another video. And yeah, I cried. But I cried with happiness because I made the moves forward. And it was small baby steps in progress. But I was able to look back and go, wow, I'm not in that place anymore. Because that's one thing that they said to me. Is, do you want to look back in 6 months' time with regret? Or do you want to look back in 6 months' time with happiness? And that was it. Even though I'd only made a small bit of progress, I had made progress. And I was in a different headspace. And my healing was after working. I was transforming into my best self. So I was able to look back with pride and just think, I can do this. So even write down the things that you've done over the last few years, even the last few months. Write down how you felt in a certain situation and write down how you feel now. Certain things that you might do. Like I went to the cinema for the first time on my own in 2023. And I was really in a bad place. I had a fear-based entity attached to me. I was afraid to leave the house. And I really just wasn't able to socialise at all at that time. So I forced myself to go to the cinema. And the whole place was empty. But I was still really, really kind of nervous and agitated. And I was like, oh my God. But I felt really good after it. And then last year I went to the cinema for my birthday. And I was just like, this is a little bit daunting, a little bit scary, but I feel good. And I went to the cinema this year for my birthday and I had no trepidation. And the place had fucking people in it this time. You know what I mean? And I was just happy as a pig in fucking shit. I felt so transformed. I felt so confident. I did not give a shit about anything. And I was really happy. And just to feel that energy, to know that I'd done so much inner healing and inner work, to break myself out of places that I never thought I'd break out of. To transform and come out of darkness that I never thought I could come out of. This is what we need to do. You have come so far. So stop being hard on yourself, thinking you aren't where you're supposed to be. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. And the most important message we have to take on right now is go with the fucking flow. Go with the flow of your life. Your life cannot be forced. It just can't. And if we try to force it, we're actually going to delay ourselves. If we reprimand ourselves for not being where we think we need to be, we're actually going to be less motivated. But if you measure your wins, if you congratulate yourself for how far you've actually come, you can actually push yourself forward a lot quicker. Because you can say to yourself, wow, I've done so much. What can I do next? That can give you the planning stages for the next steps as well. But also, just be is another one. But enjoy the journey. Stop being in such a rush to get to the end. Stop fucking forcing things. Stop, enjoy the fucking moment. There's so much pleasure to be had if you take your time. If you take it one step at a time. If you feel everything you're feeling. And that comes to everything. Delay the gratification. You know what I mean? When you delay gratification, you actually enjoy it more. You don't take it for granted. It's not fleeting. And that's it. Like, I don't, it's the simple things like people, like I was doing a course and stuff, and, certain things are just buying yourself like a cup of coffee. You're like, oh, that's a treat. Like I'd buy myself flowers once or twice a week or once every 2 weeks or once a week. And that's a treat for me, and that's lovely. And that's a small little treat. But I delay, like, I save up my money in a sense, or, go for big things. I'd rather do something big once a month than do something every weekend kind of thing. Do you get me? Instead of, like, we used to go to the pub every week and waste a lot of money just drinking. I don't drink anymore. That's another thing I've taken out of my life. That's instant gratification. Delay gratification, and at the end of the month, you get something big, something that's more memorable, something that's more heartfelt. Forcing anything. Like even me and my cat, if I forced that relationship, friendship, or bond too quickly, it would have been, we would have ended up having a disconnect. But now we're getting such cuddles because we took our time. It's the same with any relationship. Let it flow. Take it one step at a time. Enjoy the fucking moment. Stop being in such a rush to get to the end. We have to enjoy the journey, or we're not going to appreciate the destination. We're not going to appreciate that end goal. And that's the thing. A lot of people think that when they have the thing, it's going to make them happy. You need to get happy on the way to the thing, or you're not going to appreciate the thing. This is the thing. Sorry. But like, a lot of people reach for the top too quickly. They get to the top and they don't appreciate it because they're not happy in here. And the whole point of delaying gratification, the whole point of taking it slow and going with the flow, is to enjoy now, to get happy in yourself now, so that the outcome will just add to that happiness. But if you get this outcome that's fucking superficial and you're not happy inside, you're going to fucking run from it. You're going to be overwhelmed, or it's not going to satisfy you the way it should. So take this moment to appreciate you, to appreciate the moment that you're in, to appreciate the journey, to congratulate yourself on how far you've come. Stop being so hard on yourself. Stop. You know what I mean? You've done so much work. You've done so much growth. You've done so much healing. You've gotten yourself out of situations that you never thought you could escape. You've gotten out of darkness and found your light. Like, we think that the physical thing, the physical goal is where we should be. And yes, we'll get there. But the inner work is the main objective here. You'll never be truly happy without the stuff you do internally. And that's, to look back on how far you've come, is a really good booster to move yourself forward. To congratulate yourself on the things that are more important, instead of being in such a rush to get to the end. Because wow, for anyone to do that inner work and get yourself out of that shit, to overcome addictions, abuse, everything, that's power. So you need to sit with that. Sit with that and sit with how amazing you truly fucking are. How much you've transformed from that caterpillar into the butterfly. You know what I mean? You are a phoenix that rose from the ashes. That's powerful. That's the goal, man. That's why we're here. We're here to rediscover ourselves. So take this moment to acknowledge that. And I promise, once you do, once you realize how brilliant you really are, that will propel you forward so much quicker and effortlessly. but it will help you flow forward. You can't force this. You cannot force it. So stop being in such a rush to get to the end. Appreciate the now, appreciate you, and appreciate every single moment. Because yesterday's gone, and you've done so much to get away from yesterday. Tomorrow isn't promised, and all you have is now. So appreciate that, and take your time. Take it one little step at a time, and enjoy every little step. And everything that you achieve, every stepping stone that you step up on, every goal in between the end goal, congratulate that, celebrate that, because you have come so far. You really have. So start to celebrate you, because you're already winning. That's a fact. And take your time. Go with the flow. Just let it flow. Take it easy. Appreciate the moment. Don't rush, because you actually go a lot quicker when you go slow. You really do. And the outcome is so much more satisfying when you take your time. So thank you so much for listening today, and I really hope this resonates. If it does, please like and share, and please subscribe to my channel so I can reach as many people as possible. And if you'd like help on your journey, please book me for a discovery call today, and I would love nothing more than to help you on your path.